Good morning, dear children. How are you? I hope you are very good and happy and be safe. Today we are going to start a lesson of English. The English is having a first lesson that is the best advice I ever had. Do you know who is the first woman president of India? Do you know who is the first woman IPS officer? Do you know who is the first woman president of India? And do you know who is the first prime minister of India? Okay. I hope you all know the answer. Let me check it now. I have given you some pictures. Identify the pictures. Write their names in a paper. There are some ladies who has achieved in their life success and in many fields. I guess that your answers are right. The first lady which we are seeing is Vijayalakshmi Pandit. The second lady Fatima Bibi, Indira Gandhi, Sarojini Naidu, Pratibha Patil and Kiran Bedi. Do it. Fill in the blanks. The lesson given below is an article written by Vijayalakshmi Pandit, one of the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's sister. Vijayalakshmi Pandit is a sister of Jawaharlal Nehru. Now who is Jawaharlal Nehru? He is the first Prime Minister of India. She wrote it for the Reader's Digest, a monthly magazine, when she was the High Commissioner of India of United Kingdom. This is the lesson of a lady who suffers financial problems and the family problems alone, where she was feeling some problematic situation. She got an advice by Mahatma Gandhi ji. So let us go and see what is the problem of Vijayalakshmi Pandit. The best ever advice I had came from one of the greatest soul the world has ever known, Mahatma Gandhi. On a sunny afternoon a decade ago. Here the word decade means 10 years ago. Most people pass through a period of anguish when their belief is humanity is at a low ebb. I was in such a period. My husband had recently died. My deep sorrow over his loss was followed by a humiliating realization that in the eyes of Indian law, I had no individual existence. That means she was not having a name other than her husband. When he died, she was not having any individuality. That means she is not known for anybody. Along with the other Indian women, I had participated for years with men in a national struggle for freedom, working and suffering side by side with them until it had finally been achieved. Yet in law, we women were still recognized only through a relationship to men. She was fought and she struggled in the national struggle of India for the independence. When her husband died, she was not having any importance in the society. At that time, widows were not given any authority or any rights. Now, as a widow without a son, and she was not having a son also, I was not entitled to any share of the family property, nor were my two daughters. I resented this galling position. I was bitter towards those members of my family who supported this antiquated law. Here, the word antiquated law means where the family members will not give any share of the property when their husband had died. If she has a son, she can claim the property. At this time, I went to pay my respects to Gandhiji and said goodbye before leaving for America to take part in a conference. After our talk, he asked, "Have you made your peace with your relatives?" I was amazed that he would take sides against me. "I have not quarreled with anyone," I replied. "But I refuse to have anything to do with those who take advantage of an outworn law to create a difficult and humiliating situation for me." Gandhiji asked her that, "Did you have a good relationship with your relatives?" She said, "No, I didn't fight with anybody." Then Gandhiji looked out of the window for a moment. Then he turned to me and smiled and said, "You will go and say goodbye because courtesy and decency demand this. In India, we still attach importance to these things." Then I declared, "No, not ever to please you will I go to those who wish to harm me. No one can harm you except yourself." She said that, "When you are saying something, I will follow it. To make you happy, I will go and say goodbye for them." Then Gandhiji said, "No one can harm you except yourself," he said. Still smiling, "I see enough bitterness in your heart to cause you injury unless you check it." I remained silent. And he continued, "You are going to a new country because you are unhappy and want to escape. Can you escape from yourself? Will you find happiness outside when there is bitterness in your heart? Think it over. Be a little humble. You have lost a loved one. That is sorrow enough. Must you inflict further injury in yourself because you lack courage to cleanse your own heart?" He said that, "Do you want to give a bitterness with your relatives? You have lost your loved one, that is your husband, and you have a lot of sadness and you are heartfully crying. But go and say them goodbye." His words would not leave me. They gave me no peace. The Gandhiji's words did not give me any peace. After some days of severe struggle with myself, I finally telephoned my brother-in-law. "I would like to see you and the family," I said before leaving. I hadn't been with them 5 minutes before I sensed that my visit had brought a feeling of relief to everyone. I told them by my plans and asked for their good wishes before starting on this new stage of my life. The effect on me was miraculous. I felt as if a great burden had been lifted and I was free to be myself. This small gesture was the beginning of a significant change in me. A year and a half later, I was in New York as a leader of the Indian delegation to the United Nations. Important to us was India's complaint regarding the treatment of people of Indian origin in South Africa. Harsh things were said by both sides. I resented the manner in which my opponents made personal attacks harmful to India's prestige, and to mine, I struck back with the same sharp weapon. Here, Gandhiji gave advice to Vijayalakshmi Pandit. By listening his advice, she followed his words. When she said something to her brother-in-law, she called him and she said that, "I would like to see you and the family." Before leaving, they came and they met her. She felt very happy and she felt that a great burden had been lifted from her head. So, we need an advice sometimes whenever we feel bad, or we need a suggestion before doing something of our elders. We take advice and opinions from our friends, teachers, colleagues, neighbors, as well as relatives. It's better to take an advice from our loved ones. Then, after a distressing duel of words, I suddenly thought of Gandhiji. Would he approve? To him, means were as important as the end in the long run. Perhaps more important, what if we succeeded in getting our resolution passed by questionable tactics that injured our self respect? Before going to bed that night, I resolved that, come what might, no word of mine would lightly used in the event. From then no on, I lifted the debate back to where it belonged, refusing to retaliate to personal attacks or to score a cheap point. Our opponents met us on the new level, and from there we argued the case on its merits. Before leaving the committee room on the last day, I went up and spoke to the leader of the opposing delegation. I have come